For this episode of the A to Z of Bushcraft, we've travelled to Sweden to visit the Gränsfors Axe Forge. Gränsfors have been making axes for over 100 years, and the quality of their axes has made them a first choice for bushcraft enthusiasts all over the world. Each axe is hand forged and stamped with the maker's initials as a seal of quality. Next door to the forge is Sweden's only axe museum, which contains some of the best examples of axe production, from Stone Age flint axes and Viking battle axes through to modern wood splitting and crafting tools. You can see where the good steel has been added on. It's been welded to the poorer quality steel. So back in the days when quality steel was difficult to make, that would be the option. You get your good high temper steel welded on to the lower temper steel here, and then once this piece is worn out, you could take it to your blacksmith and he could add a new piece on. Lars Enander is one of the world's most experienced blacksmiths, so this will be a great opportunity to learn the ancient skill of knife forging from someone with over 30 years experience. This is the blacksmith's method of cutting kindling using a hammer and a special tool called a hardy fuller. It's a lot safer than using a hatchet or an axe. The first step in the process is learning how to light and control the heat in the forge. Paper and wood are used to get things started, and then we add the main fuel, known as coke. By increasing or reducing the airflow into the forge, we can regulate the heat precisely. A stack of different steels such as carbon steel and nickel steel are heated to a temperature of over 1000 degrees centigrade. This shows as a bright yellow colour. It's quite tricky at first to avoid overheating the metal, which causes it to burn like a sparkler. When the steel is hot enough, it's taken from the heat and beaten using a hammer. Borax is sprinkled over the surface to draw impurities from the steel. This process welds the stack of steel into one solid piece. And by repeatedly beating the steel, it's drawn out to approximately twice its length. Next, we bend the piece of steel over the side of the anvil to facilitate the first fold. The more folds in the steel, the more intricate the finished pattern will be. A special tool is used to shape the tang or handle of the blade. Different methods, such as cutting notches or twisting the steel, form a unique pattern in the steel. That seems to be working. So, I've cut all my grooves, and now we have to heat it up again, flatten it all back out, and hopefully that'll give us a nice pattern. The blade is then shaped and ground before being hardened and tempered. The hardening process is achieved by heating the steel to a bright cherry red colour, approximately 800 degrees centigrade. It is then quenched in oil. Tempering is used to reduce the hardness of the blade and prevent it from breaking in use. This is also the stage where the edge of the blade is formed. Typically, knives from Sweden have a Scandinavian or Scandi edge. This is a single bevel edge with a flat grind and is considered by many to be perfect for bushcraft. The blade is polished before being immersed in a container of sulfuric acid for several hours. The acid eats into the steel and reveals the Damascus pattern by exposing the bright nickel layers underneath. A final polish completes the process. Knives with patterned blades were once traded in Damascus, hence the name. Originally, the folding process was used to improve the strength of blades made with inferior quality steel. The pattern was simply a byproduct of this process. I'm really pleased with the result. I mean, this one here I'm pretty sure will be a fantastic bush knife, so just can't wait to put a handle on that and we'll test it out and see how good it is. It's the only person I can blame if it's not very good is myself, because I made it. Probably the most proud I've been ever, I think.
The A to Z of Bushcraft is now out on DVD. Support the series www.azbushcraft.com.